Hey guys, just before we get to today's clip, just a quick reminder for all Serie A fans in the UK and Ireland, you can now stream every single match live on OneFootball. No matter which team you're backing, OneFootball's got you covered. You can watch via the OneFootball app on your phone or connected TVs from Apple TV, Google TV, Samsung, LG, and Fire TV, or on the website tv.onefootball. And what's even better is that you can choose how you watch it. You can grab a team or a season pass to watch all the matches until the end of the season, or just the ones from your favourite club. There's also a match day pass for £9.99 to watch all the weekend's games, or a single match on pay-per-view for £4.99. And yeah, if you missed a live game, you'll still get access to all the match highlights too. So if Serie A is your thing, OneFootball is where it's at. We'll have a link in the description of the episode for you to buy your preferred stream.
Welcome to the Italian Football Podcast.
Midweek fixtures, we have the Coppa Italia semi-finals. We have Empoli-Bologna in the first leg, Empoli at home for that on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have the big Milan derby, yet another Milan derby. Milan are the allocated home team for this game. It is on Wednesday. It's at 2100 CET. Nima's going to laugh because I said 2100.
2100. What is this? Like a military reconnaissance meeting? Like what?
At least there's no
2100
doubt.
hours.
At least there's no doubt. You know, someone doesn't get up at 9 o'clock in the morning to watch the game.
Well, yeah. Well,
obviously,
unless you're in Australia, then you have to get up at all kinds of stupid moments.
Obviously, the game is at San Siro, as Milan are as I said, the home team. In terms of team news, what we know is that Milan will not have Emerson Royale. He's out. Inter, you can correct me now, but they're not going to be playing Lautaro, Dumfries, or Zielinski. Am I correct there? Are they all out?
Dumfries and Zielinski for sure. We don't know about Taremi. We don't know about Lautaro, but it's unlikely. And that's kind of where we are, and we don't know the physical status of Fratesi because Inzaghi said something. We don't know about De Vrij. So
that brings us on to the probable 11s then. Well, let's start with Inter, as you're talking about them. We can probably expect some kind of rotation for this game from Inter, can't we? Because of they've got obviously the busy schedule, or they're going to have Bayern Munich in the Champions League, which is so important, and Parma. Would I be right in saying that the Parma game and the Bayern game are considered more important for Inter, even though this is a derby?
No, I don't. I think I think Inzaghi just views this now as I think the Bayern game is the most important one out of these. But the derby, because also it's the semi-final, it's the derby. They haven't beaten Milan. They got a draw and a loss. Well, they got two losses and a draw against them. So I think that's important for him to not go through the season without having beaten Milan once. So I do think he values it, and also it's a potential trophy because he looks at it. Okay, he would have Inzaghi has a chance to have had won both Inter's 20th Scudetto and Inter's 10th Coppa Italia. So that those kind of things that matters. So I do think he's definitely this is an important game. It's a derby, but. Given that Barella's going to be suspended for Parma, he'll definitely play.
Yeah.
Bastoni missed the game due to suspension against Udinese, so I kind of expect him to play because then he can rest him against Parma. I think Sommer.
Aslani's suspended as well. I should have added that before. So Aslani's suspended for this game.
Yeah, and he's also suspended for the Bayern game, Aslani, so he'll definitely start against Parma. Then Arnautovic, does he start this game or does he play him for Parma? Correa, does he start against Parma away or does he start this game? I mean,
Martinez will probably play, won't he, in goal?
I don't think so. I think Sommer's playing.
You think Sommer's going to play? Okay, yeah, so the back three, we're looking at Bisek will come in, you'd imagine, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I expect
Bisek. Maybe Bisek, Acerbi, Bastoni. Acerbi rests against Parma and plays against Bayern.
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
That's what I would think. And then Darmian has to play, doesn't he?
Yeah, Darmian to the right and Augusto on the left. I think he's going to rest Di Marco.
And And then the
And
centre
then in
mids.
midfield,
Centre mids, definitely Barella.
Barella's definitely playing. Yeah,
Yeah. And the other two?
it's
Guess you haven't got much choice, have you? If
yeah, it's going to
Aslani's,
be Mkhitaryan and Çalhanoğlu.
yeah.
Like he hasn't
Unless
chose.
Frattesi's okay, and then Frattesi
Yeah,
could play.
yeah,
And up
yeah.
front,
I think it's going to be Thuram, and if Taremi's fit, I think he will play.
and if not,
It's Correa and
or
Arnautovic.
Arnautovic. Okay. Okay. And as for
And
Milan,
also, Zalewski could start on the left as well, just as a like. It
or
could
the
be a
right,
situation.
or the right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
he could play Zalewski on the right, Carlos Augusto on the left, Bastoni is the left centre back, and Bisek is the right centre back. That's also a choice because Zalewski did come on, which is possible.
Yeah. Okay. And Milan's team. Well, I should add also that Ruben Loftus-Cheek is out, and best wishes to him because he had to undergo emergency surgery for appendicitis. Had to have his appendix
Ooh,
removed, which is really nasty and could have been really dangerous if they hadn't got that as quickly as they
it's not a
did. So,
nice.
yeah. So he's probably going to. Well, he's definitely going to be out of this game. He might even miss. I don't know how long the recovery is, but I would imagine that the rest of his season would potentially be at risk with that. So those are the two out, Loftus-Cheek and Emerson. I think that Milan, I know Milan are going to basically, Conceicao is going to play what he considers his strongest team, whatever that is, to win this game. Because as we said earlier in the show, this is basically all Milan have to play for now. I also think that Conceicao, knowing that, and we didn't say this before, Conceicao knowing that he's not going to be the manager next season, the league means nothing to him now. Like, what's he got to do well in the
Nothing.
league? He's
He
got,
could leave Milan after 8 months with 2 trophies,
yeah,
and that would look fantastic on
absolutely.
his
So I think
TV.
his the only thing he's cares about now is Coppa Italia because he can win a trophy, which is something tangible for him. Whether he, if for Milan, it's better Milan get in the top 4 and don't win the Coppa Italia and then win the Coppa Italia and finish out the top 4. But for Conceicao, he doesn't care about that because he's not going to be here next season. So he wants to win the Coppa Italia. So I think he's going to put all his eggs in the Coppa Italia basket, and that means he will play his strongest team. Now, what will that team be? Well, obviously, Magnon will be in goal. Kyle Walker will definitely be right back. Teo Hernandez surely will be left back. The two centre backs, I mean, that's a difficult one because they were both a disaster against Napoli, but Thiaw missed that Napoli game because of a late injury. So he's going to be in doubt for this game as well. So really, you're looking at Gabbia, Pavlovic, or you bring back Tomori. So it's going to be 2 from those 3. And then in midfield, I mean, he played Bondo, things didn't go particularly well for him against Napoli. So I think it will definitely be Fofana. And then it's going to be probably either Musa or Bondo at centre midfield, unless he brings Reinders back for that, which I don't think he will. I think he'll put him as the attacking central midfield. And then I think Leao will definitely come back in to start this game on the left. He has to. And I think Pulisic will play on the right. And then up front, I think it would be Jimenez because Tammy Abraham started the game against Napoli. Jimenez came on. Things improved after Jimenez came on, even though he missed that penalty. So I think it's going to be Jimenez up front. So I'm actually quite confident of that lineup for Milan. The only ones I'm not sure about is the centre backs. Does Tomori come in? And probably the centre midfield. Does Bondo start again, or is it Musa? Or does Reinders drop deep? And then if Reinders drops deep, then maybe Pulisic goes to attack the centre midfield and somebody else plays on the right instead, maybe like Chukwueze or someone like that. So I think it's quite easy to predict the Milan team, but the Inter
Yeah, it
one's
is.
a little bit more difficult.
Agreed, and that's kind of how I see it as well. I do expect I expect Inzaghi to be a little bit more controlled in this game. I don't expect him to go gung ho from minute 1, because it's a 2-legged affair. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a kind of a cagey, affair where none of them try to push too hard the other, but just kind of just see where this goes, and then in the second leg try to go for the kill, because it's a 2-legged affair, and also because of Inter have so many important games coming up. I don't think they can afford to really kill off games like that when it's a two-legged semi-final. I think that's the kind of approach I expect to see from Inter, both against Bayern and Milan, is to kind of just neutralize this and then go for the kill when they're the home team in the return leg. Obviously, if the opportunities arise, they'll go for them, but I don't expect them to go gung-ho like against Udinese in the opening 20 minutes, where Inter completely dominated and created 3-4 chances and should be 3-0 up. That I don't expect to see from Inter against Milan in this first leg. A little bit reminiscent, mirroring Inzaghi's first season, which I, again, keep coming back to in this pod, that this season is very reminiscent of Inzaghi's first season. For many reasons, I do expect that's exactly what happened. It was a goalless affair, and then Inter went for the kill in the return leg. But equally for Conceicao as well. I mean, what we've seen him do against Inter so far is exactly that: try to absorb Inter's pressure, win the ball, and hurt them on the counter. Hopefully, Inzaghi would have learned his lesson as well. So I don't expect this to be a spectacular game by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, for me, it's interesting to see, as you said, kind of like the way that the approach from Inter more than anything, because the way that they've fallen into Milan's trap in a similar way to the way Pioli used to fall into Inzaghi's trap of attacking and then leaving themselves open, and that's cost Inter in the recent derbies. Whether they, I don't think they will fall into that trap again, which is why I think you could be right, and it could end up being a bit of a stalemate. Neither
Look, I
side
mean,
wanting to open up for the other, maybe.
yeah, but like, here's the thing: like, it's a two-legged affair at this point, and
Mm.
Inter have got the Champions League and the Serie A to worry about,
Mm.
and it's like
So they
they
could
don't
open up a
need.
little bit more, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're going to
It
play
could go
Milan.
both ways, yeah. It could go both ways like that.
Yeah, but they're going to play. Yeah, but they're also going to play Milan in a return leg. They know they have to play Milan again in 3 weeks' time. So there's no need to kind of go for the kill like that. Like, when they play Parma, they have to win that because they're in a title race. This game, they don't actually have to win. They just don't have to lose. That's the only thing they don't have to do. Obviously, they'd like to win, but I think the same thing with Bayern Munich game away. They don't have to win away to Bayern Munich. Of course, it helps. But given that it's a two-legged affair and you don't have the away goals rule, it just makes it kind of irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just play off this game. Don't try not to get injured. Try not to spend too much energy. Focus on Cagliari, Parma, and then you have those games against Milan, Bayern, and Roma where you have to win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, well let's leave it at that.